I've seen it.
Okay.
Okay, now we're looking at someone walking dogs. Hi, how are you?
I'd like to call the Tuesday, June 4th, 2013 meeting to order. At this time, I'd ask you to rise. Our invocation, our pledge will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Heavenly Father, let us take a moment to thank God for all that we have been given and for bringing such a fine group of dedicated and enthusiastic citizens together today. We ask for God's help to give our individual and collective gifts to our community, to regularly refurbish our intentions, to give ourselves in ways that make a difference to our families, to our city, to our nation, to keep our wits during a time replete with distractions and political uncertainty, to maintain our focus with determination and with a sense of humor born of the knowledge that we are mortal men and women, and to fuel our work with vigor, stamina, and a hearty spirit. For all this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and once again, thanks for coming out tonight. Our first item is our Citizens Open Forum, where we give you the right to come and address council. I just have a couple of rules: that you don't speak towards anything on the agenda, that you keep it to no more than 5 minutes, and that you clearly state your name and address for the record. Having said that, anybody on this side of the room like to address the board? Certainly, come on up.
The court.
You.
I get to finish my cake, but...
Oh,
Hi, my name's George Comey. I live at 539 Canal Way, and I'll probably just call this the first report of living on the canal. Now, I passed out pictures. I wanted people to look at them. And that was from this morning, as I knew I was coming here tonight for another issue that's on the agenda later on, the parking in Gull-Aire Village. But I'm on the board of directors at Gull-Aire, and I've been approached many times by people living on the canal, and they've talked about dogs just running loose. I mean, that's what people do. That's a dog run there. You know, so I've talked to Lynn about it. I called him up and asked him, you know, do the same rules apply behind our houses as it does in the two city parks? And he told me, yes, it does. You know, all the dogs are on a leash. Well, those dogs are on leashes, but they just drop the leash and let them run. Now, I've been approached by dogs that were 100 yards ahead of their owners, you know. And so what I'm proposing is that you put some signs up for us. I asked Lynn about that, and he said they have plans of paving it, and they have plans of doing this or that. But I'd like to get some signs up, you know, right before it enters the housing area of Gull-Aire. On each end, dogs are supposed to be on a leash. I would volunteer to have a sign put up on the back of my fence, facing that way. And also that I asked him if it was the same rules as a city park, and he told me that yes, it would be. And I says, well, what about 10 o'clock at night? What time do your parks close? Because there are people in the room here. I don't know where Tom is, right there. He'll tell you that people are out there on that pipe jumping in the water at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, you know. And so I'll just call this the first report from living on the canal for you, you know. And that we would like to see some signs put up, you know. I don't know.
I appreciate your input, and that's definitely something that, you know, we need to keep an eye on for various things with dogs. And I know we had a point with motorcycles and what have you down through there. Is that Swift Mud property through there? Do we have to get them their approval for that, or no?
I don't think we do.
Okay.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Property.
Yeah, it's their property, but we'll certainly look into that, and we can't be everywhere and see everything, so we certainly appreciate the input. And if you have other residents that might want signs, if that's the direction we go, I'm sure that would be appreciated as well.
We're going to work on some on our side of the gate that you put in for us, because I'm not saying Gull-Aire Village isn't. There's a few of our people out there doing that too, but most of them do come out of the end where not Canal Park, but Sheffield Park and that neighborhood. That's where most of them come out of, you know. And thank you very much.
Thank you for your first report.
Okay.
May I, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
They're not picking up after the dogs either.
Well, right.
So, I mean, maybe we should have a sign there of, what is it, $84 for the first offense and double that for the second?
Well, I know they're gonna put the trash for the dog waste out there when they finish
That's
it,
fine.
so
I
I
think-
think that'll help too.
Yeah, but some people don't pay any attention. I got a guy in my neighborhood, you never see him with a bag, and he's
Yeah.
got a big dog.
It happens in mine. They put it in the bag and then they throw it into the woods, so, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so.
Boy.
Can't catch everybody, but we can catch some of them. Anybody else on this side of the room? Sure, certainly.
My name is Fred Hobson. I live at 594 Canal Way in Gull-Aire Village.
Uh-huh.
And we had an aerial view of first I'd heard about it was the no parking ban on the different streets at the.
Can I ask you to hold off on that? That's an agenda item for tonight, and we'll address that at that time.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Sunday Page. I own Oldsmar Florist. I've been here for 33 years. And we're having a problem with the internet and the people who like to advertise as their Oldsmar Florist. And it's very deceiving, and I don't know what can be done. Linda Norris has just experienced it last week. One of my customers this week, they think they're calling us. And they're not. They're calling somebody from Michigan or Orlando or whatever. And I've called my Telefloral, my wire service, and I've complained to them. And they said, well, we'll just make sure that they don't ever call you again, the other florist. But they're not going to do anything about it. And I just don't know what to do. I mean, if we can make the citizens more aware that when they do use the internet, that they got to look at the physical address.
Yes.
Because everybody's in Oldsmar, Florida. I mean, you'll see hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my.
And there's only,
Everybody on Hillsborough is Oldsmar now.
yeah,
Yes.
everybody.
And that's the unfortunate part. You're in a private business that, we're this technology world, and everybody
Yeah.
is from everywhere, and
I know.
they're using Google keywords. They're trying to capture every bit of traffic they can, and unfortunately, you're not the only one. It's happening to restaurants and to other professional
Yeah,
establishments.
it'll say like Oldsmar, Florida florist. And then, Oldsmar florist. Yeah, well, no, it's not. So you just have to kind of be aware of it.
Yeah, when it happened to me, I wanted to specifically use Oldsmar Florist. And I always like to give business to our community.
Absolutely.
They lied to me. They did everything short of coming to my house and handing me a card that said Oldsmar Florist. It's ridiculous. So basically, we just
Yeah.
have to be careful. If we Google
Very
Oldsmar
deceitful.
Florist, we have to look for the what is the number, Candy? The actual number for your shop
3906 Tampa Road,
and the phone number.
855. It's all,
855.
yeah.
You're going to see the 855.
You are.
Yeah, but that's tough. I mean, if you're in Spokane, Washington, wanting to send, your grandma flowers, it's hard to know.
Yeah, but if you're in Oldsmar and you want to
Right,
use
right,
Oldsmar Florist to send
Well, you better
flowers
already
from
know her
Oldsmar.
number if you're an
Well, but I didn't. And
Yeah, but
I-
a lot of them throw 1-800 numbers out, so you don't know.
It's very hard with the internet and people
It
paying big
is.
money. It's
You just
very
got to ask what your physical address is, and we'll tell you.
don't get delivered, and
Nope.
it's hard. It was a horrible experience. And then
Yeah.
it happened to another Oldsmar resident
Today?
with her, with the same company that claimed they were
Yep.
Oldsmar florists, and it was somebody in Michigan.
Yep.
And it was a wedding, and they didn't get their flowers. So not only
Yep.
are we not supporting Oldsmar businesses, we're being lied to, and special occasions aren't being recognized.
Right.
And Candy's not getting the business.
It's
Sunday.
tough. It's tough. I might suggest that you get with Jerry in the chamber and see if they have any ideas as to how you can, better put yourself in a better position on the internet, so that it's hard. It's definitely hard.
It is, because if they buy those ads, they are get pushed up to the top.
Yep.
No matter if you're not a resident or whatever.
They don't care. As
No,
long
they
as
don't
you're paying the money, they're.
It's all about the dollar bill. So, at least I
Yep.
try to make somebody aware of it. Maybe we can think of something. I don't know.
Well, and if I think people, just residents, by hearing this and watching this on TV,
Yeah.
maybe it'll make them aware to pay a little bit more attention to
Yeah.
what it is that they're,
Always ask where they're located.
Yeah.
You know, what's your address? I want to come to your shop.
Yeah.
They won't tell you. I'll tell you.
Son always makes sure it's you.
Yeah. It's sad, really.
Son is smarter than me.
Well, he knows, you know.
You've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you, Sunday.
Thank you.
Anybody else on this side of the room? Anybody on this side of the room wish to address? Okay. Jerry?
Jerry Cousin, Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, 101 State Street West. Just like to give a report on Freedom Fest and like to thank the city, particularly Leisure Services Department. They did a great job helping us out with the event. Weather cooperated beautifully, and we wound up, based on our sales, I think we had between 13 and 15,000 people there. So it's still a good event, really drawing people. And of course, you were there most of the weekend. And,
I was?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think real good entertainment, real good crowds, and as far as we know, once again, absolutely no problems. So it was really a great event, and really thank the city for the cooperation with that. We do have one thing coming up, and I'll mention again next meeting if I get here. It'll be our 4th annual holiday sharing softball game, Bright House Field, city council, city staff, board, upper chamber board and staff versus Pinellas County Sheriff. And let's see, Rick's here. I think Rick plays, and Tom's umpire. I think Jerry and I caught last year, didn't we? I got my eyes fixed. I can do a little bit better this year, maybe. But anyhow, July 6th, and we'll be selling tickets. $17.50 you get into that game, plus you get into the Phillies or the Clearwater Threshers game following that. I think 5 to 8, all you can eat, $2 beers and fireworks. So it's a great event, and it supports holiday sharing fund.
And it really is a good event. I mean, not only the charity-wise, but if you have a family that's never been to Bright House Field, it's a great experience.
It is.
We go there, during the week, and they have different specials, but it's a great facility, and they do a great job, and you get a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs, too.
Yeah, you do. And the fireworks down there are some of the best in the, best in the area. So July 6th,
Thank you.
Saturday, July 6th.
Isn't the Holiday Sharing Fund now a 501c3?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can write off everything.
Yeah, we'll get, I believe we get $5 a ticket. It's $17.50, and we get $5 a ticket for holiday sharing.
Wonderful.
Anybody else in the room? Seeing nobody else, we'll close the citizens open forum. Our first item is the Community Redevelopment Agency. Only one item on that is and I asked for this, is to reschedule the work session on Market Square. We had moved a couple of things at the request of Vice Mayor Miller, and those weren't real time sensitive. I talked to one of the people involved in this project at Freedom Fest, and it was definitely something that he would like to see us get done as quickly as we can so that they can move forward on it. I'm excited about the project and just the whole downtown area. I know it's probably going to be an item that's going to be on our priority list at our workshop. And I want the developer to know that it's important to us as well. And I know Janice, that you definitely have sitting problems, and feel free to stand up, as you're welcome to do here. I meant to mention that. If you see her stand up, she had some surgery, and we're hoping that it'll be about an hour. And if it was going to be longer than an hour or so, I wasn't going to do it. But I thought for an hour, I think we want to show them that we're committed to this project and to move it forward. So I know we had some dates. I don't know what they are anymore, but
They were the
Everybody thinks
20th, 25th, and
Yes.
27th.
he makes it sound like I had surgery on my tush.
Thursday.
I said you're back.
No, you didn't. You
Oh, I
just
didn't?
said she had some surgery and she can't sit.
Yeah. On her back,
It was
sorry.
back, guys, not my tush.
Thursday, June 20th, Tuesday, June 25th, or Thursday, June 27th.
Yeah, those were the suggested dates.
How about the 27th?
I'm out of town that day.
You're out of town that day.
Francisco, yeah.
You are too?
Okay, so that's the 27th out. What was the other?
25th.
Thursday, the 20th, or Tuesday, the 25th.
I go to the doctor on the 25th, and I think I go at 4 o'clock.
Thursday, the 20th?
Thursday, the 20th.
It's good for me.
It's good for me.
All right.
Is that 4 o'clock,
Oh!
right?
Yes.
So you can still attend your other thing, because that's in the morning.
4 o'clock. Or
At 4 o'clock.
Okay, all right.
20th at 4? Thank you so much, everybody.
4?
Yeah.
That works. Is that okay with you?
Next is the City of Oldsmar. It's the presentation by Florida Green Building Coalition certifying Oldsmar as a
The consent docket, didn't
Oh, I'm sorry, the consent docket. I was excited about the green. And the next item is the consent docket. Approve the minutes of the March 19th, 2013 City Council meeting. Does anybody wish to pull that? If not, I need a motion. Need a second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Thank you. The next item now is the City of Oldsmar. Presentation by Florida Green Building Coalition certifying Oldsmar as a silver level green local government. Suzanne Cook, the Executive Director of the Florida Green Coalition, is here to make the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me. A couple of days ago, I was speaking to the City of Tarpon Springs. They're on a 5-year recertification program, and I think you should know that they complimented the City of Oldsmar for a job well done. So we can't ask for more than to have your peers congratulate you and respect you for what you have done.
If I might ask you, can you kind of give a little brief thing of what the green designation is? That's probably what you're going to do, but there's a lot of people that, the green team is here, but.
Yes. As you mentioned, City of Oldsmar achieved 32% of 345 applicable points, and that earned you the silver level designation. That program is for the, I'm going to turn around and talk to them just a minute.
Isn't there?
For you to understand, okay.
There's a handheld mic right
There's a
there.
hand mic. Where is it?
Oh, great, sorry.
Turn it on.
For you to understand what the staff went through, this process has 18 pages of criteria that they pick and choose from, and those criteria incorporate 18 different sections, whether, I'll get to all those different sections in a minute, but it is a lengthy process, so I congratulate all of them for that effort. In order to achieve the Green Local Government certification, the Oldsmar staff undertook the audit, and the issues included energy and water usage, air quality, health issues, land use, recycling, waste disposal, maintenance policies, education programs, purchasing practices, regulatory policies, and many others. So you see, it was quite an undertaking. We want to congratulate Mayor Doug Beavis and all of the councils for offering their leadership and the framework for the staff to move forward with this process. For the community, it means you have a more efficient government. You have educated the community residents on the value and benefit of sustainability, and moving forward, you will conserve and protect your natural resources. Some of the specific achievements that Oldsmar focused on: they minimized the heat island effect through the use of highly reflective materials or surfaces. They implemented advanced stormwater controls and waterfront considerations. They created a reclaimed water infrastructure, which, if you notice your beautiful City Hall building, when you come in, you see the purple sign that says your landscape is watered with the recycled water. So that is one of the achievements of your local government certification. They implemented an environmentally preferred purchasing program. They provided alternative commuting incentives for the local government employees. They operate a local, these are just some of those 18 pages of things they did, the ones that we feel were significant. They operate a local government reuse store and computer equipment and other items. They recycle end-of-life electronic equipment. They offer free and discounted green products to the public. They maintain organic community gardens. They minimize chlorine in the swimming pools. They collect their spent bullets at the police firing range. They offer recycled paint and mulch yard waste to the community. They provide green building and local government training and education materials. They offer waste assessments to businesses. They provide, and this is important for the community, for your government buildings, they provide signage on the benefits of the green features of the building, and that is a tool to educate you, and hopefully it will influence how you react in your community and perhaps adopt some of these sustainability efforts. They encourage the reduction of vehicle miles traveled in the community through carpooling assistance and utilizing the internet to provide public transportation route information and alternative commuting options. They developed a waste management and recycle program for construction projects, which construction projects can contribute a lot to your landfill. They deployed a waste they utilized integrated pest management, which is a healthier type of pest management where you're not necessarily relying on chemicals. They incorporated LED lights for their traffic lights and some of their street lights and cross lights. And they involve students in green projects in their schools, which is, of course, how the next generation is going to help develop this community. So with that, Mr. Beavis, would you come down and join us? Do we want anyone else?
Lisa?
Yeah. Do we have a plaque?
Where do you want?
Right here. So you stand here, I'll present it to you.
Okay.
Are we gonna do it this way? Which way? So this award really is for the community, and that's why I like to present it to the community. So congratulations on your achievements for becoming a Florida Green Building Coalition certified green local government.
Excuse.
That's very cool.
And we also have a flag for you to put on your flagpole.
Great, and we would like to bring Julie Foster and the green team up here and get a picture as well, because those who are here.
Okay, yes,
Julie was
okay.
very instrumental
Good.
in seeing this through.
Julie,
I remember coming over here and she's sorting drywall and moving stuff.
and part of the process of the Green Local Government Certification is really communicating among the different departments to make sure that everybody is working towards the same goals and not doing repetitive functions.
It's awesome.
Are we all in? We're going to have to scoot in.
You're in the clear, I think.
Everybody go right. Right. I see it. Are we in? Yeah.
No, you're good. I have other ones.
So give your staff a round of applause. They did a great job.
Where's this thing at? I'm gonna show one.
I just want to say one thing. This took over 2 years to get all of the information together, to make changes in the policies, and to really make this all come to fruition. And it was one of the council priorities, and city staff embraced it, worked towards it, and here we are. So thank you.
Thank you. And if you get a chance, you can have another piece of cake if you'd like. And but check out the I don't know what you call those things, medallion-looking things that we got. Those are awesome. And I also want to thank the previous council and previous Mayor Roniker too, because he really spearheaded the team that did this. I just got to be here for the picture. I was part of the team, but it's really great, and it's neat to have the first silver certified RO plant in the free world.
No.
Okay, the country.
Yeah, that's right. No, as the member of the council that was on the green team, it was like Christmas for me. And Suzanne said 18 pages. It might have been 18 pages of our accomplishments, but how many pages was the manual?
There was 242 line items.
242 line items that we had the possibility of getting points for. And little things like the sign back here, you'll see that we added environmental stewardship to our mission statement. So something that small, we'd get a few points for, all the way up to the big ticket items where we got a lot of points for. And we haven't even gotten the points for our RO plant or our single stream recycling, I don't think, because that hadn't been implemented. So that will go toward the gold. Right. Yeah.
Certainly, yeah, come on up.
Yeah, you know, she was our leader.
A little bit of confusion, I think, might help if I clarify. Hi, Julie Foster, former City of Oldsmar Sustainability Coordinator. There's two different things happening here. One is the Florida Green Building Coalition, the FGBC's designation of the city as a silver level designated green city with their organization.
Right.
Completely separate from that is another entity called the United States Green Building Council, or USGBC, and that is a federal agency that certifies structures and buildings. So there's two completely different things that we were celebrating tonight. One is the city's designation as a green city. Part of that designation included that we chose to and pursued building and reconstructing buildings to the U.S. Green Building Council's, USGBC's, LEED certified projects. So there's completely two different entities here, both with extensive lists of items. So we had a whole lot going on all at once, and everyone did a fabulous job of participating. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this building 97% recycled? Somebody told me it was 97%, everything
Are we
was
recycled?
recycled, 97%
Kind
of it.
Of the waste?
Yeah,
Demolition.
Of the demolition?
Yeah.
Yes. That could be, was that right?
It was real close to that number. I can't quote it.
I thought you told me
Go with-
that back.
We'll go with 97.
And the best.
97.
And the first.
Yeah.
But yes, and that was a good part.
If you want to challenge me, see me after the meeting.
Yeah, right.
I'll be standing by the deputy. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly. The next item is the presentation of the business of the quarter,
Oh, that's me.
and that is going to be by Vice Mayor Miller.
Thank you. Lisa, will you come up? Lisa Bradley? You can bring your family up too.
Oh, I think it's not.
Oh, okay, let me grab this. Hi, everybody. This is Lisa Bradley, and she owns, she's the business of the quarter, and she owns, what is it? Pretty Paws.
Pet salon.
Pet salon, and that is on Forest Lakes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to say this part last because I think it's great. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Often these are not the largest and most recognizable businesses, but they are the businesses that help Oldsmar make it what it is. And this is a case with our awardee this quarter. This is a small family-owned business with a passion for both animals and customer service. They have been in operation since 2006, and they strive to treat every customer like they were a part of their family. Their services come with a personal touch and are offered at a great value. Pretty Paws owner Lisa Bradley Landry and her cousin Jennifer Landry are
Jennifer Bradley. Landry's my husband.
Yeah, I know.
Jennifer Bradley's my cousin.
Oh, they did it wrong here. Okay. They're third-generation groomers. The family has bred, groomed, and showed standard poodles and German shepherds. They groom all breeds of dogs and cats that are vet recommended. Some customer comments come back up their family service approach. I love Pretty Paws. They always do a great job and are very nice, and my dogs are always happy when they come home. Things like that. The staff is very friendly, and these are all little notes from some of their customers. And Lily's hair looks just like I asked. And my dog's very squirmy. And the other one says, I'm happy with the salon. They're friendly and total animal lovers too. They also, Pretty Paws also supports several local charities and involve their clients. They collect pet food and provide it to the North Pinellas SPCA. They collect canned goods for Oldsmar Cares and assist the Shriners in their mission serving disabled children. That's very nice. I am proud to recognize Pretty Paws Salon and their owner, Lisa Bradley Landry, as the Oldsmar June 2013 Business of the Quarter. And the last but not least, this is what really got me. They help place abandoned pets, and they often also provide temporary housing for them until they find a place. Now that is really...
We also don't charge, there's no fee, no nothing. We do not charge a dime because we want these dogs to find a good home or cats.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yes.
Absolutely. And I'm an animal lover to the utmost. And I would like to present you with the business of the quarter.
Thank you very much.
And it's for you to say something.
Well, like she said, we try to do everything we can for our clients. You know, I mean, we can't make everybody happy. But we do try to get homes for any dogs or cats that, you know, get dishomed or are abandoned or people move and they can't take their animal with them. So we do what we can. Thank you.
Is that a good
Thank
one? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Lisa. Congratulations. They said this, we started this, how long ago, this award? Anyway, umpteen years ago, and they kind of thought we would run out of businesses to award, but it's one of the things that's a priority to the council is to acknowledge the businesses that we have in Oldsmar, because it is a partnership that we have with the citizens and our city and the residents. And so it's really important. And as we start to run out of businesses, as you can see around the city, we just start adding more of them. So we're excited about that. Our next item is the graduation of the Citizens Academy students. And while I head down to do that, Vice Mayor Miller can give a little 10-minute infomercial as to 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
No, don't. You'll take it. About Citizens Academy.
This is our sixth year of doing the Citizens Academy. You all come up while I'm talking if you want to. It has been very, very successful, and I can see there are other graduates from other classes in the room, and everybody loves it.
How long and how many things do they do?
This year they had 10 Thursdays. It's usually 9 Thursdays in a row. And you get to eat dinner, so the women don't have to cook on Thursday. And they learn. What happened was all the department heads, they don't get paid overtime. They do this because they like doing it. They come up with these wonderful presentations. It's almost gotten to the point where they compete against who can give the best presentation. And what they do is they teach the citizens how the city runs, who to call in case of whatever happens, and where their money's going. So, and the reason we started this was because back in, 6 years ago, the legislature, when they were in a bind with money, because, you know, we have a balanced budget amendment, it's the city's fault. They blow money. They blow all their money. So, no, Oldsmar does not blow any money. So I asked the council, could we do this? And of course, everybody agreed. And so now you know where your money's going, right? And we don't waste any money. And I'm so proud of you guys. I'm proud of all of you that have been in the Citizens Academy. It's just a wonderful thing. I thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
We have some plaques.
But it's the council too.
And you took 8 of the 10 minutes, so I got to make this fast. Am I doing it? Or? No, she's not.
Okay.
As I call your name, please come forward and receive your certificate and then stay up here because we're going to take a group photo. Lori Bonham. Robert Chapin.
Ann Colbreth, Linda Colbert, Rachel Doucette, she couldn't make it tonight. Carl LaFrance, Joy LaFrance, Gabby McGee.
Really? Yes, our own little Gabby.
Mark Obid, Deb Polly, Orchid Rogers, Sharon Sarabo,
What am I over here?
Kristen C., who also could not make it tonight, Kay Shapiro, Stephen Shapiro, Quinn Trujillo. We have one more certificate for somebody we lost during our Citizens Academy, but she really had embraced it. And one of her comments, which we thought kind of summed up, was she said that you knew Oldsmar because it got pretty when he got here. But her name was Tracy. Yeah, Tracy Lynn. And we did miss her. A lot of color went away when we lost her. Well, I'm going to leave. Wait, here's the mayor.
Thank you, Ann. I just want to thank our citizens from around here for really having it. We love our city, the council does, and we brag about it, but it's really neat for the 6th year, and I want to thank Janice for bringing this idea forward, that the citizens kind of fight over getting into these spots. There's only 25, and husbands and wives come, and it's just great that the city embraces what we do here and then takes that message back to their friends and relatives and neighbors and brags. It's really a way for us to help us brag about the city. So, but does anybody have any comments? Oh, you do, Deb Polly. Thanks.
Did any other members of our class have something to say before I get going? Okay. Oh, Mayor Beavis. Members of council. As a member, is this on?
Yeah. Part of our budget cut.
Furlough?
Yeah, that is.
As a member of the Citizens Academy class of 2013, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the city for providing this educational program for Oldsmar citizens and business owners. Within this 9-week program, we have learned firsthand of the many operations that keep this great city functioning. Leisure services, public works, our officials, the Chamber of Commerce, planning and redevelopment, fire rescue, the Pine Ellis County Sheriff's Office.
Bless you.
Is it on again? Yes. Our Historical Society and the library. Thank you to these divisions for taking the time to engage with our class and for providing us the opportunity to question, learn, and most importantly, permit us to graduate tonight with a better understanding of how our city operates. Also, we would like to extend a special thank you to Kathy and Ann for guiding us each week and embracing this wonderful opportunity with your enthusiasm and knowledge. Nor can we forget that if it wasn't for Oldsmar's Vice Mayor Janice Miller, we wouldn't be graduating tonight. Tonight, we walk away with a deep appreciation of all that our city does for the citizens and business owners of Oldsmar. Again, thank you for this opportunity. We now understand how to give back to our community in more ways than one.
Tell him, Doug.
Oh, yeah. And I got gypped. I was in the class of 2, and I didn't get to do nearly the fun stuff.
That's not true. Oh, thank
They
you.
squirted fire hoses. They did all kinds of stuff in this class.
Nice.
When's the next one, Janice? Do we know, roughly?
Well, Kathy
Roughly?
said March, and I really like to have it earlier in the winter. Couldn't we have the Parks and Rec later at one of the last ones?
We'll sort it
One of
out.
the last classes? We'll sort it out. But I hate it when some of the people go up north for the summer and they miss it, So we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and thank you so
Thank you.
much. This is wonderful.
Oh, squinch together. Squinch?
Squinch.
You want me to come down?
And it's not true, it wasn't just two people in his class.
No, not two. I was the class of two.
Oh, the class
If we do it like this. Yeah.
Simon says, you can do it. 1, 2, 3, cheese. And one more for posterity.
It is a great class whenever the girls are done squabbling about when it's going to be. And you see it come out, definitely be a part of it. How many would that be? 25, 6, 150 people we've graduated probably? Plus or minus?
Close.
Yeah, I'm going with that. 97%.
Yeah, you always go with the.
Our next item is consider moving Lee King from an alternate member to a full member of the Code Enforcement Board. I understand Mr. King is not here. One of the things that we started some time ago was to have the board members come before the council because a lot of times we don't know them or aren't familiar with them. It's also an opportunity to ask the person questions that we may have. And I have to say in this particular case, he's not here. I would like to ask the city clerk to send him a letter and tell him that the council, or the mayor at least, and maybe council, do have some questions as a result of some of the emails that we have been party to that he has authored. And so I have definitely some questions about his support of the city. So I would definitely like him to be here. If he chooses not to be at the next meeting, we will no longer entertain his move to the board, if that's okay, if council.
Yes. Sure. Yes.
Do I need a motion or anything?
I'll move that. Whatever you said, I'll move.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. And I say that because we generally don't, but we want to make sure that the people that represent the city and that are on our boards, and this is a very important board. It's a quasi-judicial board that actually has more power at some points than the city council does, and we want to make sure that we staff that board with people that have the best interest of the city.
Exactly.
We're not trying to sway anybody or do anything, but we definitely want them to have the best interests of the city and the citizens. So we would like to ask Mr. King to be at our next meeting. The next item is to consider the appointment of Dan Saracki to the Leisure Services Advisory Board. Dan is here.
Do we know him?
I believe Debbie does.
Good evening.
I believe this is the first time we've ever denied somebody a chance to be on the board. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In front of everybody, right?
And there's a chance, I think a lot of people know you obviously ran for city council seat 3, and we really appreciate you wanting to be a part of the Leisure Services Board. You're a big part of the community. I don't know if anybody has any questions for Dan.
Not really.
No. If not, do you have any questions of us or any comments?
Personally, I'm really excited about the opportunity, but most of all, I'm really excited about being a part of their team. And I want to thank everybody for the opportunity.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you. And we just did our volunteer dinner not too long ago, and it really is great. With our Citizens Academy and the volunteer board, it's a great city, and it's great that the people want to come out, because believe me, there are a lot of cities around here that people don't want to be a part of. But at any rate, I need a motion to approve Mr. Saracki.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Second. Got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
You're on.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Dan.
Next up, our city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 8 on your agenda is the second and final reading of public hearing of ordinance 2013-09. I'll read that by title only. Ordinance 2013-09, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, amending subsection 5.9.1.2 of section 5.9.1 of Article 5 of the Land Development Code of the City of Oldsmar to establish a PUD overlay district, amending subsection 5.9.1.5 of section 5.9.1 of Article 5 of the Land Development Code of the City of Oldsmar to address approval of the PUD overlay development, creating section 5.9.6 titled PUD Overlay Plan Unit Development within Article 5 of the Land Development Code of the City of Oldsmar to establish the purpose, definition, requirements, and criteria of the PUD Overlay District and providing for an effective date hereof. That was the second and final reading of ordinance 2013-09 by title only, and it requires a public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Staff, do you have anything to add? Thank you. Does anybody from the public wish to address this particular item, for or against? Seeing no one, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
I'll second.
And motion and a second. We need a roll call, please.
We got some.
And
comments.
discussion. Go ahead.
Thank you. You know, this was postponed, in my opinion, needlessly at the last meeting. If you read the email that we got, I'd just like to say that we are an intelligent group up here. We were elected by the citizens of Oldsmar to use our judgment. And as our judgment, anything on the agenda that comes up, we study it. We know what we're dealing with. And when it comes up, a ninth-hour email that doesn't make any sense, that says that we should consider what we vote on because we may have a doozy council later on in our life up here. You cannot make a decision as we sit here. We cannot make a decision with that in mind, that someday we may have a doozy council. That should not enter into it, should not be a part of the decision we make. The decision we make is something that we study, we know what we're doing when we sit up here. And I like Denise. I don't have a problem with her, but and I want to point this out. She agrees with us on a number of points. She says, I say, when, as you just personally experienced, we have a fully functioning, speedy way now. That was the way she was complaining about when we did this. To me, and each council member has their right to vote the way they want. They had their right to postpone it for 2 weeks or for another meeting. But to me, it didn't make any sense because we should have come up here knowing what we were going to vote on, knowing that it was the right thing to vote on or to vote against, and we should have voted on it that night. And that's just the way I feel. Okay, gang?
Anybody else?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I agree with a lot of what you said, but I personally thank the council for voting to give it the 2 weeks because we are elected by the citizens, and this one individual did want to address the council, and things came up, and now other things came up, and she can't address the council today. So I think that it's good that we gave her the 2 weeks. She still wasn't able to come due to her family things. I agree, there's a lot of things that I agree with, but at least we gave her the opportunity to come, and it only cost us 2 weeks. So I appreciate that we gave her the 2 weeks.
I would agree to a point on that, but we can't do that every time we have a ninth-hour email to postpone something over and over
Well,
and
it's
over.
a case by case, I agree.
It is a case by case, but we can't, if we governed by, one email every time, we would never get anything accomplished. And as Councilmember Beaverland said, I did read it, and it was also based on a previous project that we had that we'd already had a lot of discussion about this. Denise had a lot of input about it. We did get it at the end. Staff was comfortable with it. And as you say, we're competent up here, but we also have staff that's very competent. And we ask questions if we have questions. The city manager and the city attorney both read the letter. They didn't feel that there were any issues that were in conflict with us moving forward. And so I agree. I mean, it was asked to be moved. We voted. And so that's the way it is. That's the way we govern. So I think,
And we lost.
Well, I mean, that's fine. It's not losing.
Lose. We lost 2 weeks of an ordinance not being put into,
Yeah,
right.
that's.
So we didn't lose anything.
No, we didn't. No, it's still moving. Well, we haven't, yeah.
And I lost the vote.
You lost, yes.
Yeah, well, get used to that, man.
That's the first racist
Just
thing
kidding.
I've heard.
You mean sexist?
It wasn't racist. Sexist. That's not racist.
Sexist, you're right,
Yes.
sexist. You're right. Sexist, okay.
My political philosophy has always been to listen to the citizens. And I mean, like, I've always said that it doesn't make any difference what I think. It's what the citizens want me to do. But in this case, this is something so detailed and intricate and only understood by engineers and things like that, that made us understand it, you know, because we talked to them. And this is something that needs to be done. And so I kind of diverge from listening to what one citizen has to say, because nobody else said anything, you know, and
it was the second reading. Or no, we'd already had.
we
yeah.
had the first, this is the second,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm ready to vote.
Well, other citizens may not have understood it as much as Denise did.
Yeah,
She-
yes,
I definitely, applaud her for being so involved and to care.
yes, yes.
And I don't think that
Yeah, I
others
appreciate
wouldn't
her
come forward.
involvement, yes.
But I agree. We have very qualified staff that
Yes.
have master's degrees and, in planning
Right.
and things of that nature.
And they're
I-
engineers.
And I
you know.
trust them and I think we knew
Yeah.
before we came. so.
Yeah, and we do our homework, and I agree to a point of what Vice Mayor Miller said, but we are elected by the citizens for our knowledge and expertise to make decisions. And, and
Yes.
hopefully we do that in the best interest, of the city.
Yes,
Yeah.
but what I meant was, if somebody happens to come forward and say something, I want to listen to what they have to say.
Sure.
Sometimes you can't convince people to agree with you, and then you just have to vote the way you know you should vote.
Right.
But you try to have a dialogue with the citizens to make them understand, or them to make you understand, and it doesn't always work
Yeah.
that you can make
Well,
them
that's all the
understand.
delay did, was
Yeah.
give her the opportunity to have that dialogue with us.
Yes,
I agree. And nothing but that, but the citizens a lot of times are not as informed as we are, because we're in the meetings, we're reading the reports, we're meeting with staff, and
Yes.
and that's where they trust us to make decisions.
Exactly.
They may wave a red flag every now and again, but at the end of the day, I think they agree with us, or we wouldn't all be here. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Beaverland?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Miller?
yes.
Councilmember McGee?
Yes.
Councilmember Norris?
Yes.
Mayor Beavis?
Aye.
Second reading of ordinance 2013-09, amending the Land Development Code to establish a planned unit development overlay district, is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Next up is our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 9, consider establishment of no parking zones in Gull-Aire Village. Give a little background on this item. In February, we received a request to establish no parking zones in the near the intersection of Trout Lane and Canal Way. The Homeowners Association also weighed in support of that request at the time. Subsequently, the request went to the Technical Review Committee in April, and in addition to that intersection, they looked at other locations in the Gull-Aire Village subdivision and have identified 2 others for no parking zones as well. So before you this evening, there are 3 locations: the original Canal Way at Trout Lane, Pelican Drive South between Gull-Aire Boulevard and Sailfish, and Pelican Drive North at Canal Way. I know there are people who came tonight to, I think, address this issue, so perhaps you would also want to hear from them, Mayor.
Yes, I received an email, as I think we all did. I talked to him last night on the phone, and we kind of had some dialogue back and forth. I also had some dialogue for clarity on my part with the city manager today as to the sequence of events that happened And at the end of the day, I have a suggestion that I would like to make and present to the council, but I would like to see if do we have a spokesman from Gull-Aire that would like to speak, or we'll take some individuals. This isn't a public hearing, but I'm going to go ahead and hear from you because I think it's an issue that we need your input on. Yep.
I'll speak first. I know there's plenty of people here. I am on the board of directors. We did have a meeting today, and we do not...
Name and address, if you could, please.
George Comey, 539 Canal Way. The ones with the dog running out behind it. Anyways, we had a meeting today, and we think this is a little bit of an overreach. We did come here, and it was because of the parking problem across from 543 Trout Lane, I believe. We had quite a bit of problems with a junk car, I think, if you remember, trying to get that thing removed, trying to have code enforcement help us get it removed, and it took months. But it finally kind of resolved itself, and occasionally the car shows up on the corner again from time to time, but it's, not as bad as it was. I remember Lisa Ray came out there one day, and she had a worker with her, and they come up with a pretty brilliant idea, I thought, to put a stop sign at the end of Trout before it went onto, Canal, and at the same sign, they could have Canal and Trout as a street name, which we don't have one there. And when you have a stop sign like that, there is a no parking, and that would take care of where these people park at the corner. So I thought it was a brilliant idea, and I supported that. Just to let you know, the board doesn't support this until the snowbirds would come back. You just mentioned that you would like to have some things going on with your citizen program when the snowbirds are here. We wouldn't do anything like this in our community without half of our residents being
Right.
there, so that's all I got to say.
Is everybody else kind of in support of that? Would you like to speak? Are you in support of that? Name and address, please.
Yeah, my name is Fred Hobson. I live at 594 Canal Way. If you look at the diagram, folks, you can see that it's really an overkill. They got, from the stop sign at the corner, they got 4 houses down. I live at 594 on Canal Way. The no parking zone is going to come 4 houses from the corner. I mean, you don't need 4 houses of no parking to solve a corner problem.
No.
That's overkill, in my estimation, and it's the same on the rest of the streets. Granted, I agree with George, there has been a problem in that particular corner. I drive a 40-foot motorhome towing a car, I'm 57 feet long, been there 12 years, and I get around the park without a whole lot of problem. But that corner is a problem. But if you look at the diagrams again, you don't need 15 car lengths from the corner of no parking. I mean, that is overkill, in my opinion. Whoever made this diagram, I don't understand their thinking. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Sure. Name and address, please.
Can I say one more thing quickly?
Certainly.
The other thing you have to realize is if this whole parking zone goes in, there'll be no service vehicles can come to our houses and service our property because they can't park on the street. Ambulances, of course, can park. And we have a company coming. So people who are elderly in our park will be parking at the rec hall to try to get to our homes, who are 4 and 5 houses from the corner. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I was going to mention about service vehicles.
Speak, we need your name and address.
Give your name and address.
Carl LaFrance, 342 Canal Way. I just going to mention about the service vehicles having access to the homes. There are many homes that are being renovated, and if they have to park 5 or 6 homes away, it's going to be an added expense. They cart all of the equipment back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing I'd like to mention is that when these zoning changes or ordinances are proposed, why don't you ask for input from the community at that time rather than wait till everything is drafted and then present it at a council meeting?
I'm going to address that.
I would love to have the opportunity to be notified that there was like for instance, when the recycled water fee or tax was proposed for Canal Way, and I had to come to a meeting here to find out what it was all about. And if that had been presented at an earlier stage where I could have given some input, I think it would make for a much comfortable situation.
Sure, I understand. But first of all, that wasn't a tax. It's a availability charge.
Well, it is a tax. You call it a fee.
It was the cost that was determined. This is a separate item, but it was the cost determined to provide and upkeep the line that's there and maintain it. Otherwise, it would wind up costing us over time. So it's an availability fee, but.
Well, there were several other areas in Oldsmar that were affected by that user's fee / tax. Several other areas.
That's fine. I agree with your point. Go on.
No,
He is from Maine.
I'm kind of nitpicking, yes.
Very conservative.
Yeah, very conservative.
Back on the issue, anything else?
No, just let the people know what's being proposed in advance so that they can give their input. And I do think I don't know who I have to thank, I don't think it's the board, for the people that do live on Canal Way in Phase 1, that they do not have to pay that user's fee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Tom Farkas. I live at 541 Canal Way. Involved right in that curve where all the problems were. That problem went on for a couple of years. It's been somewhat resolved, but it hasn't gone away entirely. And no one knows when it's going to ramp back up again. I don't think the stop sign issue is going to work. I think the no parking signs would be a better alternative. Plus the fact that it makes everyone that goes around that curve stop, which they're not going to do most of the time anyway. And I also don't believe that they're going to follow the no parking area that goes behind that stop sign. And lastly, my understanding, the way it was set up now, is that it's a safety issue with the emergency vehicles coming in there, not being able to get through because of the parking issues. And we're not talking about inconvenience, we're talking about possibly life-threatening situations that cannot be resolved.
Our fire chief is here and we'll try and address that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Might as well stay on Trout first, okay? My name is Jeanette Highland. I live at 589 Trout Lane. I am 200 feet from the corner, 3 full houses. You can get around, whatever. I'm in the middle. If you look at the diagram, I'm here. Okay. And I don't think I should have a stop sign in front of my house.
A no parking sign?
Parking. No parking.
Right, correct.
Okay?
Yeah,
So that's it.
Thank you.
Mr. Mary, as you come up, I don't think we discussed it being the no parking goes really
that far.
I'm going to support this one.
Well, let's let them talk and then we'll.
I think we need to clarify that.
Let's let them talk and then we'll discuss it amongst ourselves what action we might want to take. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Christine Matthews. I live at 275 Pelican Drive North, and I've lived there for 14 years. As far as I know, there is a law about how close you can park to a corner to begin with on a street, and we've not had a problem on our corner for cars parking in that. Whenever someone does, we ask them to move. And that's not going to solve. What our problem is on our corner is people from around the park coming too fast around the corner and almost coming into our homes or into another car parked there. So we've always suggested, why don't you put in a hump or a speed bump right there, slow them down. The speed limit is 15 miles an hour. And they're going 30, 35 through there. And I can vouch for that. I've lived there for 14 years and I've been watching it. So that would be my suggestion for at least the Pelican Drive and north with Canal, because that alleviates them coming around that corner too fast. Because nobody parks there anyway.
I appreciate the speeding concerns, definitely. That's probably something that I might suggest you bring up with your board and get the majority of the community involvement and input on that, because there's definitely mixed opinions on speed humps as I have them in my neighborhood, and I hate them. But
I know we've brought it up before, but I'm just saying that's a solution. A stop sign there or a speed bump, slow them down. you know, and there's not a problem.
I just asked Deputy Sarah if there is a law about.
How close you can park to a corner.
There isn't.
There isn't? Oh, we have it in Oregon. I'm sorry, that's where I'm from.
We won't hold that against you. Anybody else?
Oregon is a pretty state.
Yes, it is.
I'm from Idaho,
Idaho, all right.
a long time ago.
I mean, I kind of have my opinion on this. I'd like to get council's input and then probably some direction as to where we go or don't go on this item.
You want Dean to come up first?
Yeah, Dean, if you could come up. I spoke to you via email today, our fire chief. And I wanted to confirm something that was in the email that we all received as to the safety, because really, first and foremost, it's health and safety is the biggest issue. Whether residents are fighting with each other, I really don't care, but it's health and safety.
Dean O'Neill, 225 Pine Avenue North, Fire Chief. Yes.
Yes. I asked, in the email, and I don't recall the quote, but the shorter version is that in those particular, I don't know if it was those particular areas, the three, or at least the one at Canal, if the ability for the fire rescue to get through there was an issue, and you seemed to indicate that it wasn't on your visit or other subsequent visits by other staff members.
No, and I can tell you what we did the day we actually went out to do the examination of the community. We looked at a few of the areas, and the one particular at Trouton Canal, and there was no vehicles in the way. As a matter of fact, the house that there was a problem with, they'd had everything moved by that time. My only concern is those specific intersections are almost, they're 90-degree intersections, and because of, especially with Canal Way, once you try to turn on Canal off of Pelican, if it's blocked or you can't get the truck around, then you're going to have to back up, and we're just talking about a time saving. Same way as coming down Gull-Aire Boulevard. When we turn left and then want to go down Sailfish, it's a short turn. So if there's service vehicles, if there's more than anything else, there's cars parked there after hours or at night where they can't immediately be moved, that's going to slow things down. And I went back and looked at our numbers for the Gull-Aire community, and it represents about 10% of our call volume each year. In the last 18 months, we've run 195 calls. 28 to 32, 33, just along those roadways there. Again, I can't tell you that we've ever had a problem with access. I would tell you the worst case scenario, if we're coming down the road and the road's blocked off and we can't get through, we stop the truck right where we're at and we go to work. So it's not going to stop us from getting off the truck and coming to take care of the problem. It could delay us in those few areas.
And whether there are no parking signs there or not, you could always run into a situation, be it at that intersection or any other intersection, where you have to, think quickly and adjust.
That's correct, and we do that in other neighborhoods as well.
And I don't know about Oregon, but I know here people park in no parking zones all the time. But thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
I have a question for you, Chief. If they were shortened, because part of the concerns were that it's 5 houses in either direction and it's so many feet and it's a long way. If the no parking zone were shortened to say 2 houses, would that help you?
I'd actually defer to our engineers based on the Uniform Traffic Code, if it's addressed in there, or if anything that the Sheriff's Office could have input in. I know that I have a 35-foot fire truck. I have a 20-foot rescue, and the angles getting in there, it's not that concerning to me with my rescue, but the fire truck, yes. And then again, if we're having a fire there, it's just not just my fire truck. It's also Safety Harbor, Palm Harbor, the other units that are coming in on our first alarm assignment.
Okay. I just thought it would be a compromise anyway if it could be done.
Any other questions for the chief?
Well, I have some comment.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes. Mr. Bieberlin.
I do. I think.
Which one is it?
Who designed this? The no parking.
Do we know where the limits came from?
5 houses. Who did this?
It's a result of the work by the TRC.
I see it right here, but I want to know.
We didn't.
No, we.
Not at all.
It was.
Hold on, Jerry.
It's a recommendation from the TRC, the Technical Review Committee. So that consists of the Public Works Director, the Planning and Redevelopment Director, the Fire and EMS Chief. I think the Sheriff's Office reviewed some of this also. And actually, the Leisure Services Director is part of that too. I don't know that he had a lot to put on this.
That's what I'm talking about. I agree with that being an overkill. I think it should only be about 2 houses each way
And I guess my question would be, an answer to your, or on top of your question is, I'm not sure the criteria that was used or the problem that we were trying to solve by putting no parking in front of about 20 houses. I'm not sure that the action answers the complaint. Well, I think it answers it, but in overkill, I think. In this particular instance, I don't know what the real point was.
From the inoperable car originally,
Yeah.
and now it's creating its own problem.
Well, I can put this to rest real quick with the council. I would make a motion that we place no parking signs here, but only go 2 houses each way. That's my motion.
I'll give you my input before.
That's my motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a set?
Some don't like it.
I mean,
We have a motion. Do we have a second? And then we can have a discussion. It doesn't mean we have to agree with.
I'll second it so we can discuss.
Okay. We have a motion for this particular one or for all 3 locations? There are 3 locations being presented to us. And if I could, I'll tell you my thought on this in talking to the city manager is that I think, in all honesty, I think this came before the council prematurely. I think this item should have gone from the TRC back to the board to review, because what the board, I think, originally approved was more of a conceptual idea about the no parking, and then the TRC presented this package, which it doesn't sound, as we're hearing tonight, that the board and or the residents have had a chance to digest or absorb or vote on. And I think that I equal this, Councilmember McGee was not on here, but this was similar to the golf cart issue that came before us. And it's one of these things where don't ask for it because you may get something that you don't want. My suggestion would be that this needs to go back to the board of Gull-Aire, and they need to determine what action they would like us to take.
I agree.
We can look at 1, 2, or 3 of the intersection individually. We can look at all 3 of them collectively. I think it's somewhat overkill, and then coordinate that, I guess, with the TRC. Is that something that they can do before it even comes back to us, or how would we best be suited to?
Well, as you mentioned, we discussed that this afternoon. I would suggest that the council postpone this indefinitely, and if and when the homeowners association would like some action taken, that they would come back and advise the city of what their wishes are.
Absolutely.
And
Very good.
we don't need to do anything until they come back, and whether that's 30 days or 3 months or 3 years from now, that's up to you. It's up to the homeowners.
I totally agree.
And my biggest concern, in all honesty, was the health and safety of the citizens. And as Chief O'Neill said, they come across situations all the time, whether it's no parking or it's service vehicles or it's a Tico truck or whatever's going on, and they have to adjust. So we have a motion and a second. I guess we need to vote on Councilmember Beaverland's motion.
Yes.
Correct?
There's 2 ways to do it. You can vote on his motion, vote it up or down.
Or we can amend it.
Or someone can make a motion to postpone, which would be the controlling main motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll make it.
You can't make that
I'll make the
motion?
motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so now the motion you're going to consider is the motion to postpone. If it's postponed, you don't need to do anything with the other motion.
We have a motion and a second to postpone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ball's in your court.
Any opposed?
All those opposed?
Wait, Jerry didn't vote.
No, I'm waiting for him to say.
All those opposed?
Against. I'm against.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we carry
I
on.
think it's up to them to decide what they want to do.
That's what we're talking about. That's the van on the
Yay.
corner. That's why we're doing this.
I know it, but they're not in agreement, so let them have it at one of their
George has a
meetings.
question.
Well, then,
Has a question, if you want to
Well, that's what.
recognize him, Mayor.
That's why we sit here.
well,
It's okay. I'm in the back end again, but
Yeah,
that's why we
come on,
sit
George.
here. We sit here to make decisions.
I
Not to
realize
postpone
that,
things
but I don't
and
want
let
to
it
make a
all
wrong
happen.
decision that they all don't want.
And I think it's similar. Before you go, I think it's similar to the golf cart thing, in that we're prepared to make the motion or take the action if it has, the majority support of the citizens of Gull-Aire. Getting back to Council or Vice Mayor Miller's point earlier about, we do want to listen to the people, and it sounds like what you voted on was not necessarily what we're showing you right now. So that's
Yes.
why I'd like to go back.
Thank you.
Good way to put it.
George Comey, 539 Canal. What the board agreed upon was a no parking sign down on Trout.
That's right.
That's all we agreed upon. We didn't agree to any of this. So, and half our residents aren't there now. So, you know, the snowbirds come back. We can have a meeting on this if, you know, and meet on it and see what they want to do.
Sure.
And then maybe bring it back to you.
Maybe there is, in the meantime, we can investigate other solutions like the stop sign if that's something that's viable. And because if somebody parks within there, we can always call the sheriff's department and they get a ticket. So.
Right. I think that would help Tom out. I mean, Tom would really like to see this, but I personally think the stop sign at the end of Trout, we could have Canal and Trout as a street sign, which we don't have now on it. And there is, going all the way back, I'm not sure how many feet, maybe Rick could tell me, how many feet back from a stop sign can you?
They said it'd be 100 feet anyways.
Quite a ways, I'm not sure how far, but.
Okay. I think you take it back to the board and.
Yep, thank you very much.
On it, thank you so much.
I would just like to comment on one other thing, and it would be that we came to a meeting and Rick Serra was there. We asked for a lot of advice and help, and I just want to compliment on the help that he's given Gull-Aire Village and certain issues that we were having. He's done a fantastic job for
They're
us.
there for you, and we're proud to have them here.
Yes, we are.
Thanks, Rick.
July 6th when we're playing them in softball.
Thanks, George.
My name is Anne Marie, and I live at 591 Canal Way, and I'm on the corner where this whole parking issue began probably 2 or 3 months ago. And the issue was my neighbor on the opposite side from me on Trout Lane. And there's traffic there 24 hours a day. There's any from 10 to 20, 30 cars a day going to that neighbor's home. And the issue is they were all parking along the side of Trout Lane adjacent to my home, which when you're coming out up along Trout Lane to go around to Canal Way, it's a 90-degree turn, and you're having to drive on the wrong side of the road to get around that corner. It makes it a hazard for anybody going in either direction. In fact, it almost happened to me today because there was a car parked right there at the very corner, and I was going around to get into my garage, and my neighbor was coming around to get into hers, and if we both hadn't been paying attention, we probably would have sideswiped each other. The article, the whole problem that started this thing, that problem is solved now. The delinquent vehicles are gone. The people are parking in the driveway. The only thing is they do park along that side of the street, which forces all of us coming around the corner to have to go on the wrong side of the street to get around onto Canal Way. And I don't think it should be a stop sign. I think a no parking from here to corner, put back about 50 or 60 feet from the corner of Canal, would just cover that whole area, leave the street free with no vehicles parked there, and it would not interfere with any of the traffic going in either direction.
That sounds very sensible.
And I understand your point. We've actually already voted on it, so we're not taking any more action tonight. But what you can see is that what was presented to us to vote on tonight is really not what Gull-Aire had asked for.
That's overkill in my opinion. It's
that's
way
why
over
we
the
need to
top.
send it back, and maybe there's a better way to revisit this thing. And maybe the problem that we're trying to solve now isn't the problem that exists now. Maybe we were trying to solve another problem.
Right.
So,
And they're going to have a meeting when everybody else comes back.
Yep.
So.
Thank you.
Okay. We are on item 10, consider adoption of resolution 2013-12, revising the budget for FY 12 and 13. We conduct 2 formal budget reviews a year in February and June. So this is our review for June. There's a number of items in the general fund, and the total would be an increase in the general fund of $14,800. And in the water and sewer operating fund, there is a total affecting $31,000. There's one large item, and that is the appropriation of $210,000 for the purchase of the 3 vacant lots at the corner of State Street in Washington. I'd be happy to go over any of the other items, but I'd like to read the resolution first by title only. This is Resolution 2013-12. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2012 and ending September 30, 2013. Authorizing the city manager and the director of administrative services to revise the existing budget. That's the reading of Resolution 2013-12 by title only. I recommend its adoption. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to respond to those.
I don't have any questions. Anybody else have any questions? I've reviewed the numbers. The one that's the big item is the one that we just approved, is purchasing the property, which I think is a needed item. So if no discussion, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and council, the next item, authorize the city attorney to prepare a resolution appointing a hearing officer and clerk for red light camera violations. The legislature amended the red light camera law during the session that ended about a month ago. And I'll talk a little bit about the changes. The most significant one establishes a different process or procedure for someone who wishes to appeal or have a hearing on the notice of violation. And the new law would require the city to provide that hearing. There's a couple of ways to do that. It could be done by the Code Enforcement Board or by a hearing officer. The city attorney and I are recommending that the council appoint a hearing officer to hear the cases, and you also would need to designate the clerk to provide, the assistance and administrative part of the hearing operation. And we would recommend that would be the city clerk and Stefan. Tonight, we are just asking that you authorize the city attorney to prepare the resolution. The resolution would come back for your consideration at the next meeting on June 18th. Other changes in the law are that a person has 60 days in which to choose what to do with their violation. Currently, it's only 30 days. And currently, if someone chooses to appeal or fight the traffic ticket, if you want to put it that way, they have the option to go to traffic court, but if they're found in violation, then the fine goes from $158 to, I think, $264 when they go to traffic court. All those fines are established by the state of Florida. The state gets a little over half of the money as well. I think the law did need some changes, so there are some improvements. I'm not real thrilled with the fact that it puts a great deal of work on the city that we didn't have before, and primarily that would fall on the city clerk's office and the finance division. But the law has been passed by the legislature. It's at the governor's office, and he may have done something with it since last Thursday, but I haven't heard that he has. I think most people expect that he'll either sign it or it'll become law without his signature. He has until June 12th to act upon it. The changes to the law go into effect July 1, so we don't really have time to just sit around and wait on the governor to sign it. So we are proceeding with the assumption that he'll sign it or it will become law without his signature. The law also provides that someone who asks for a hearing and then they decide they don't want a hearing and they cancel it or something like that, there's a $50 fee for that. And the new legislation also provides for the establishment of an administrative fee, and that would cover the cost of operating the hearing process, including paying the hearing officer and the time associated with that operation. There's some additional mailing requirements on both the city and the contractor. Our contractor is American Traffic Solutions, ATS. The administrative fee under the law can be up to $250. I don't think it'll be that high for us. That fee will also be established by resolution. The city council probably won't see that resolution until about July the 2nd, but those are some of the highlights that are in the changes. And as I said, it's scheduled to go into effect July the 1st. The other thing I wanted to mention is amendment to our agreement with ATS will also be required by these changes in the legislation. And those changes are related to the fact that we do have to establish a hearing process, work that ATS may be required to do. Sometimes it's mandatory, sometimes it's depends on what the violator does, such as changing the amount that they are collecting, and that impacts, their cost and fees, how notices are sent out, whether they're first-class mail or certified mail. All those things impact the operation, and those will be reflected in proposed amendments to the contract. So tonight, we're asking that you authorize the city attorney to prepare a resolution, and we'll bring that back to you on June 18th. Also on the June 18th agenda, in addition to the resolution, will be an amendment to our contract with American Traffic Solutions. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to respond to those.
Questions or comments from council? I knew changes needed to be done to it, but it's not like our state government to
Put more work on the city.
put more work on the city, take all the money. And I voted against the red light cameras for that sole purpose, is because they were taking their portion of the money and putting it into the general fund. And this is a prime example of them putting it into the general fund and then changing the rules of the game and putting the burden back on the local municipalities at our expense. And time and effort, taking us away from other things. And, they're already collecting money to do these things, to run a judicial system. And this is part of that system that they approved, but yet they now have turned it back on us. So I did talk to the city manager, and I did confirm that the administrative fees, they do not at least get a portion of that. So that covers ours. Believe me, it was a question. I also talked to the city manager about this, and because of the speed that we have to turn this around, I think it's agreed upon, and I'm sure council would agree that it would be great if collectively, the municipalities that have red light cameras could collectively resolve this instead of everybody individually having it. And Bruce had suggested that our nearest partner is the city of Clearwater, and maybe down the road, we've got to do this because we've got to get it up and running. We don't have time to negotiate, but hopefully down the road we can come to some agreement with the other municipalities to collectively resolve these problems. We don't know how big they're going to be. We don't know how many we're going to have and what kind of time it's going to take, but at any rate, so any other discussion?
I just wanted to just make something, because the biggest question that I would have if I were a citizen was what is it different for me? So basically, if you decide that you want to fight the ticket and you come to the hearing, and your ticket would be $158 if you paid it. Okay, if you felt that you could win, you would come to the hearing. If you win, you don't pay the ticket or the admin fee.
Right.
If you lose, you pay the ticket and the admin fee.
And the fine.
And the fine, the fine plus the admin fee.
Well, that is the ticket, and what?
The ticket is the fine. What I mean is the
What she's talking about-
violation.
But it's now a bigger amount, though, than
Right, well, you have to then pay the admin fee, which we could charge up to $250, Bruce said, but we probably wouldn't. So say it's gonna be $150. So it's kind of like going to court, fighting the ticket, and having to pay court cost, kind of. But you also have the opportunity to win and not pay anything. And I think that's gonna be the biggest question that people are gonna ask. And it's not up to us. We have to do this because of the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all.
Any
I
other
wanted to
comments? Kids, how about you down there?
I've already spoken to Bruce about it.
No, that's
I
fine.
know there's no more for me to say. Let's vote.
I need a motion to
Oh,
approve the
question.
city attorney to draft the resolution.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Well, I know you voted, and that's fine. I just wanted to ask Mr. Trask if he had any other comments about this. You'll see it at the next meeting, but.
Just a few comments. I did want to let you know that I have talked to a hearing officer, Herb Langford. He was a traffic hearing officer for North County for a number of years. He's currently a special magistrate for several cities along the beaches, Madeira Beach and St. Pete Beach, I think. And I've talked to him about the possibility of taking on this role, and he has agreed to do that. And so when you see the resolution on the 18th, it will include his name, and it will include the hourly rate that he's looking for. But I think with his experience, he's probably got the most experience of anybody available at this point, being a special magistrate and a hearing officer and having the traffic court experience. I think is going to be a really, really good thing.
I think it makes sense to have somebody that's skilled in hearing these things, so certainly.
Okay, and that's all I needed.
Okay.
And just a couple other comments before we move on about the red light camera traffic program. Sergeant Nalvin with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is here tonight as well, primarily related to this item. And everyone may not realize that Sergeant Nalvin supervises our 2 traffic deputies and our 2 community policing deputies. Is that right? Yes. So it would be up to you, Mayor. I don't know if Sergeant Nalvin wanted to make any comments tonight.
Certainly, if you'd like to make some comments on this particular item. I know you typically don't take a stance one way or another as the Sheriff's Department, but.
No, we're just waiting to see, waiting for the changes. I will say one thing, that is the most significant change in the legislation is that when you get your initial fine now, it's $158. If you transfer that liability to somebody else because your friend was driving your car, it would go to $264 and it was a ticket. With the legislation, it will stay and carry as just a $158 fee.
Oh, good.
I think that in itself will help eliminate a lot of the court
Well,
issues.
between that and the 30-day handcuff.
Right.
That's probably a bad word, but handcuff. But, the 2 of those things together, by the time you get the hold of the kid that was driving your car, yeah.
Correct. So I think that will help with a lot of it.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really done now.
Thank you, Janice.
Manager comments at the end.
City Clerk.
I just want to say thank you for supporting Citizens Academy. It's always a bonding experience and a wonderful, see, look, we still have some here.
Oh.
And we couldn't do it without council support. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
I said earlier, it's a great thing, and I think I'm excited that people care enough about the city to be involved in it. That's how I started getting involved in the city, and then here I sit behind this thing. So, but anything else?
That's it.
And you guys, girls, I should say, did a great job too. Thanks for that. City Council comments by council. We'll start with the green team down there to my right, to your left.
Hey, I'll try to be quick. First of all, I'm just so proud to have been on the green team, and I'm so proud of all my team members, and it really is a wonderful day for Oldsmar to get this designation, and with all of the things that we already have in the works, it won't be long before we get the gold. So I wanted to congratulate everybody on that, and of course, everybody that graduated from the Citizens Academy, another thing that makes this town wonderful. And I wanted to tell just a little story about the fishing tournament. Okay, Debbie Pauley, she tags all of us in all of the events that happen in Oldsmar on Facebook, for those of you that are on Facebook, and it's, a lot of different things. Well, I saw the beauty of it this past weekend when we had a fishing tournament for children, and a friend of mine from Spring Hill saw it, came to Oldsmar, was able to enjoy the parks, enjoy the tournament. And there was 2 boys, a 9-year-old and his big brother, 16-year-old. The 16-year-old caught 2 fish, Austin, and noticed that Aiden was unhappy, and hooked a fish, handed it to his little brother, didn't tell him, and Aiden ended up winning the first prize because his big brother hooked the fish and gave him the pole and wouldn't tell him that he did it. And so
Hope he's not watching right now.
I made sure that he didn't go on Facebook before I put it on there, because I didn't want him to find out. I asked his mom and stuff. So a lot of good things happened with the social media, with Facebook, with the city of Oldsmar, with other people coming into our town to enjoy our town, and then to hear a heartwarming story like that, it was real special. So I wanted to let y'all know that we're getting a lot of good exposure in different areas. And I was in Seminole today. Well, all right. Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I'm quitting. I know it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible, horrible thing, but all those that are addicted to nicotine understand. Well, there's a business, it's called Lizard Juice, and they're going to come to Oldsmar. It's an electronic cigarette company. So I started talking to them about they sell, it's not like a hookah bar or anything like that. It's not like a strip joint.
I know what it is.
It's a good thing.
They're investigating it. They don't know what you're inhaling, what is in that mist that you're inhaling.
Okay.
Lizard juice.
Well, I'm inhaling 5,000 chemicals and formaldehyde and everything else when I'm inhaling cigarettes.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be any worse than that. But anyway, they were all excited about how beautiful, how Oldsmar is like a powerhouse in business, and how it's so easy to go to all the different counties. So it's just nice to be out in other communities and to be able to talk about Oldsmar, to hear how excited they would be to come to Oldsmar to start a business. So that's it.
Absolutely.
Kudos on stopping. Kudos on stopping.
Oh, I haven't done it yet. I just got all the stuff, and I'm trying. I've tried. I've let them shoot chemicals in my head. I've done everything. I'm serious.
It explains it.
Yeah, that explains a lot, doesn't it? I tried hypnosis, I tried the gum, the patch, the laser treatment, everything. It's a horrible thing. If you're, don't even.
Former council member Seidel is on 6 months.
Oh, I saw that.
17,000 some odd cigarettes, I think he's
Hasn't smoked.
hasn't
Yeah.
smoked. So
Wonderful.
he now weighs 412 pounds. but-
No, he doesn't.
no.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Freshly back from Peru, Councilmember McGee.
Yeah.
I wanted to say happy birthday to Linda on Monday.
happy
It's her
birthday.
And
Thank
she
you.
also shares a birthday with Jason Schwab from our fire department. So I wanted to wish him a happy birthday as well. And yes, I had a wonderful trip to Peru. I'm sorry I missed Freedom Fest and Memorial Day. But one of the great takeaways, I was very happy to come back, even though I had an amazing trip, is because Peru doesn't have safe drinking water. You can't drink the water there. When you brush your teeth afterwards, we were swishing with Listerine, and it felt good to come home, take a shower, and actually be able to open my mouth in the shower. But it just makes you appreciate, especially that we have government that cares about making, safe drinking water and our own drinking water a priority. And you would think a country that's has traveled as much as Peru for Machu Picchu, they still don't have safe drinking water. So I was just really appreciative of that, and also extremely proud to live in a green city. That's very exciting, and I know I had no part of any of that, but very thankful for everyone that did, and that Julie Foster drove all the way back here tonight to celebrate. And I also wanted to mention, at the last meeting, we gave Dorothy Larson the Council Manager Award. And she actually sent me a thank you card, thanking me for giving her the award for my first award. And that's exactly why she got the award. It's just the sweetest, kindest person I know. And I just wanted to thank her again for doing that.
Absolutely.
And also thanks to Ann and Kathy and Janice for being a part of the Citizens Academy. I wanted to participate last year and had a schedule conflict and couldn't, but loved it. And you would think after the election process and meeting with all department heads and, that it would be a lot of repetitive information for me. I learned a lot. It was great. So every class I loved, and I got to shoot the fire hose.
I didn't.
First Public Works, I think, was my favorite because I learned so much. But then I was like, God, the fire hose, that's hard to beat. So, and that's all I had. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Beevelin. No, I didn't.
No, do you first.
I know what I'm doing.
First off, we got 7 of these.
Wow.
6. Wow. Get
It
the chair out of the way.
What's it say? Or what is it?
doesn't say, it lies.
You want me to help you hold it? I'll
No,
hold it at
I
one
got
end.
it.
Okay.
This is another one. Don't even laugh. I've got down here, the 4th of July celebration in the Wayside Inn in Oldsmar, Florida, 1919. My beautiful wife and the city manager, but this one says, a midwinter scene in Oldsmar.
Really?
The other one doesn't say anything.
Where'd you get them?
He got it. He has his ways.
I got, yeah.
Do we get to see it or no? We got to come over there by you?
During the,
After the meeting,
And
you
we'll come
can
over
take
there.
all the
We'll put it
time
over there on the
off.
table with the cake.
well, the city clerk has the other ones.
Oh, okay.
They are.
I know where she lives.
They are incredible. I mean,
Sides.
they are incredible.
Are those the ones that are going to go across the wall? Oh, how cool.
From the Hillsborough Cooperative, the Hillsborough Library. There's photos, the Burgett brothers. Okay.
Oh, cool. Oh, neat.
That's
They do good stuff.
Are you asking about the wall? Is that what you're saying? What's
I
this?
was just
T-Boss.
wondering where they came from.
No.
Who?
Didn't you say, what's this?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, you didn't say that? Oh.
Anyway, I thought in 24 years, I have hardly used my, what haven't I hardly used, Ann?
Your iPad.
No.
Your opinion?
My expense money. You can probably count it on 2 hands what I've used in 24 years. So I asked the city manager and I asked Ann, let's buy these things with my expense money. It means I haven't spent anything in 24 years. So that's how we got these.
Nice.
Thank you, Ann.
Nice. Thank you, Terry.
I guess it's up to me now, huh?
He's not. Oh, no, you know.
Oh, he's not through. Oh.
Thank you all for who you
How long
are.
have you sat next to him?
Memorial Day was incredible.
Yes.
huge crowd, and I'm gonna make a recommendation because our city attorney set the stage for Memorial Day. He gave the prayer, he gave the pledge. It was so dignified, it dignified the whole Memorial Day services. It really did. And I would suggest to this council that our city attorney, for every Memorial Day and every Veterans Day, give the prayer.
If he wants to.
I'm sure he does.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll second that because, I mean, I think it's been made at several council meetings that the sincerity and the words that you speak at our meetings, and I did what you said out there. Yeah, it really sets the tone and starts it off.
It set the tone for the whole meeting. And I appreciate that and I thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it was
So
very
if the
nice.
council would agree, I would like to have him be the,
Sure.
set the tone at every Memorial Day
Right,
and
yeah.
every Veterans Day.
It works for him. I'm fine with that.
Do we need it? We don't need a.
No.
No. Okay.
And thank y'all who you are.
Now he's done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Miller.
You
And I
coming
will
back?
never be sexist to this council.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you will.
Oh, you won't.
I think you meant to say
Actually,
anymore.
yes, the Memorial Day thing was absolutely wonderful. The Citizens Academy was absolutely wonderful. The Green Team was absolutely wonderful. I'm so proud of this city. And other than that, I just want to say thank you to everybody, including our staff. I love you all. That's it.
All of us?
I love you, Jerry.
Thank you. I really don't have much. Again, the Green Team and the awards and the anticipation of getting this and just kind of watching it evolve was really kind of exciting. I recycle as much as I can, and I try and be conscious, but it was really neat collectively as a staff and to be a part of it as the council, to see it really come together and be recognized nationally and locally for doing it is really neat. And thank you to Tarpon Springs for bragging on us a little bit. And as I mentioned at the last council meeting, what are you doing, eating down there? At the last council meeting, we had a group of 50 dignitaries that came, and I think that's something that's going to continue to happen, not only for the green certification, but for just the technology and what we've got going on. It's great, and staff is to be commended for that. Memorial Day celebration, it was my first as mayor, and it was exciting. We moved it to Monday to put it in its right place where it should be, and knock wood, the weather held off. We had a great turnout. I said this there, and it was part of my speech that, it's really about educating the kids as to why we continue to do this. So to the parents or relatives that brought their young ones out there, that was really great, because that's what it's about, because it's so easy to forget some of the things that are so important to this country, and to do that and share it with your kids is awesome. So thanks to Tom for the great words to start us off, and everybody else that was a part of it. I can't really say anything else because I'm actually, believe it or not, recording the Home Shopping Network tonight.
Are you really?
Why?
Yeah.
Funny you should ask.
What,
I don't normally
what are you selling?
I don't normally ever watch it, but it's kind of a funny story. After I sent a picture to my mom over the weekend, I hung out with somebody for 2 hours before I even realized who it was, my girlfriend and I, out at the Brown Boxer on Clearwater Beach, and I sent my mom the picture. Well, my mom called me tonight and said, turn on Home Shopping at 8 o'clock. What do you call her? Supermodel from the 70s, Twiggy.
Oh my gosh.
Was out at Clearwater Beach on vacation for the month. She likes Miller Lite beer, I found that out. So, but it was really neat. And I made it a point to, as we were leaving, we weren't sure. And Brittany said, no, that's her, I talked to her. And so I went to my iPad and I kept checking pictures, and I'm looking at profiles, and And I think it was her, and now all of a sudden tonight at 8 o'clock, she's hawking some goods, I think. I don't know. Because she's got a whole clothing line and all that, so I don't know if she's going to be there, so that'll be kind of funny. So
Celebrity appearances.
yeah, so I don't know if she recorded it while she was here, or I don't know, because she left yesterday to go back. But very nice, and it was actually really neat to talk to her, not really knowing who she was, because she was just a normal person. So we got to get out of here because I got to go watch Home Shopping.
I want to say one thing about your speech, Memorial Day. I was so happy that you actually talked about the parents bringing their kids, because I've been complaining about that for years. Kids don't know this stuff anymore. And even the 20-somethings and the 30-somethings they don't think that way,
Yeah.
you know? And my parents took me to everything, boy, you know, that was drummed into me.
Yeah, and what's interesting, and I tried to blend some of that together, is Memorial Day is really to acknowledge the people that sacrificed their lives in combat. Unlike Veterans Day, where it's, you know, all, however you died, all veterans and things like that, but it's through the veterans that we have alive now that we share the message of those that gave their lives, and that's kind of the tie together, and to share that with the kids, and just to be a part of that that experience, you know, whether they came kicking and screaming, but they came. So
yeah, it was a great speech.
That's all I have. Does anybody else have anything?
Believe it or not, I'm not sure all the council members know Garrett Zeliff, who is currently our sustainability coordinator, and I wanted to recognize him this evening. I think this is your first council meeting, and while a lot of the work was done prior to Garrett's arrival, he's been very faithful to push us across the finish line. So I wanted to recognize him for his work with the award that we received tonight.
When you bring that up, I'd like to ask a question. One of the things that we got points for is that we pick up our lead after we go to the shooting range.
What shooting range?
Who in here does that?
You did at the memorial service the other day. You picked up the spent cartridges the guy shot. Does that count?
My wife did.
Your wife? Of course she did. Of course she did.
Of course she did. You know that.
And?
That's it.
That's it. I should have known.
I just like to know who goes to the shooting range here and picks up the lead.
Don't tell them, they'll take points away from us.
I didn't know we had one.
I need a motion for the tentative agenda.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Meeting adjourned.